So in terms of, the president talks, and as Bill de Blasio did, about income inequality. Mm-hmm. It's kind of nice to hear people talk about income inequality now, isn't it?
It's so overdue. And
hello, yeah.
Part of what we did on the floor, actually, Communication Workers of America put out some really interesting slides they gave to members of the Progressive Caucus, and we blew them up on charts and talked about them on the floor, showing where wages would be if we kept up with the productivity of workers, where the disparity is with the 354 times CEO pay versus the average worker pay, and then even the decline of unionization. You can watch it all, and then the best was looking at when we started our first free trade fast track agreement. You started to see the decline in having more exports and then having imports, and then you look at NAFTA and you look at the steep decline, and it's just some really visual ways to be able to talk about all of these things are hurting the middle class and those who aspire to be in the middle class.
Well, so that's a good segue to the TPP we talked about in the last hour, right? This is the next trade agreement that's now being negotiated, basically in secret, right? From what we learned from NAFTA, there are some concerns about TPP, correct?
This may look NAFTA look like it was kind of child's play when you get done. I mean, this has got so many potential chapters of so much that we don't know, but some information has been leaked, and some of us have looked at certain sections. But think about it. How do you bring a country like Vietnam, where the minimum wage, I think, is 28 cents an hour, where I think you're supposed to be able to get 4 days off a month? How do you bring them into labor standards that we can have fair trade? Free trade is one thing, but fair trade is more important. And if you don't have labor standards or environmental standards, if we have bad currency policy, if we wind up allowing the big banks to be able to, as we are hearing, could have some very bad provisions, we're going to lose so much autonomy, and it'll be multinational corporations will be able to sue states and countries over things like Buy America policies.
Whoa. I mean, I was just thinking, I'm afraid that you're dealing with a country with a 28 cents an hour minimum wage, that you go to the lowest common denominator.
It's just a wage erosion, and then you'll have it more and more here. And we're already at a huge disparity between the top 1% and the rest of us. This will only get worse.